Hi friends, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Martyna and welcome to day 2 of this little challenge that I'm setting for myself, and I am inviting you guys to join me, and that is using up a whole 6x6 paper pad in just 5 days. So today's project I am really excited about, not only because I think it's super cute, but also, unlike yesterday's one, this one thing uses 3 sheets of our paper pad. So this brings me closer to the goal of using the whole thing in 5 days. And these are very easy and very fun waterfall pockets. So I have them tied with just a bit of sari silk. And let me show you how these work. So this is what I would sort of have glued on a page, and then we have a pocket here, and then the waterfall effect in my case just is going down. So I have another pocket here, and then just to decorate I added another pocket here because, you know, why not? And then it goes down again, and so I have a pocket here, and then it could also go down, and this is the flap that would be glued on the page, and this could also in fact be made into a pocket depending what you would like to do with it. And so I love it. It's so cute. I love interactive elements in my journals, and you can use however many papers you would like. If you would like to have 4 pockets, do 4. If you would like to have 5, do 5. Of course, it's going to get longer and longer, and also chunkier and chunkier, because at some point a lot of those pockets are just in the same spot. But I just love how 3 look together. So to save us some time, I already picked my papers for today. So these are the 3 sheets that I'm going to be using, and I'm thinking maybe I would have them sort of like, I like this this way, or maybe like that, or something like that. So to start, we are just going to be folding our papers in half. This will give me the pocket, and also we are going to be making the flap in just a moment. So far the first step is folding all the 3 or however many papers you choose in half. And the third one. Okay, and the next step would be deciding how tall, maybe I actually will have this off so I can show you guys how tall I want my pockets to be. So because this is a 6x6 paper pad, this is always going to be 3 inches. So you could have 3, you could have 4. I am going to go with 4 inches, so that what I'm left with is a 2-inch flap, because it's a nice size. It makes it sort of safe that I can join all of my pockets together. So what I am going to do now is, you don't have to use a scoreboard, but for me it's going to be easier and quicker. So I'm going to go to 4 inches and make a score mark like this for all of those, just making sure where I want the top of my pocket to be. Maybe here 4 inches, and then this one as well at 4 inches. Now the easiest way, I think, to fold those flaps would be to actually open up the paper and fold it like this. And I'm just going to go over it with my fingernails, just so this fold line becomes a bit more pronounced, because we are going to be cutting off one part of it. And I'm also, for that, I'm going to use my ink. You don't have to do, well, this is kind of like an additional step just because I'm filming, because I want to show you guys which part I'm actually going to be cutting out. But for me, it also makes it slightly easier to see. So as you can see, this is how we folded our paper first, and then we went this way at the 4-inch and then 2-inch mark. And then what I want to cut off is this piece, so the bottom right corner. And I am going to go slightly over my folded line, so cut off a slightly bigger piece, because then when my pocket folds up and I have my flap, I don't want this little part here to get in the way. So this is what I'll do for all 3 of my papers. Right, let me just clean this little corner. Okay. And this is going to be folding like this. So here's my pocket, and this is going to be the flap. And why I chose the right bottom corner and not the left one is because when I'm flipping it down, if I chose this one, like if I if I had this one still attached, then as you can see, like I would have the same sort of pattern, just the continuation. And if that is what you prefer, then by all means go with this one. But I love, you know, seeing something different on the flap of my pocket. So that is what I'm going to do for all of those. Again, just inking so that I can see better where to cut. If I wasn't filming, I could bring this much closer to my face probably. So I don't think I would need the inking. And then again, pocket, flap, and this will flip down like this. And let's not throw away those scraps, because we can use them to decorate our pockets, or also even make an additional pocket like I did in my example. So I hope you guys are okay. I hope you are joining me for this challenge, whether or not you have a paper pad to use. Those are just such, I believe, fun and easy projects that you can follow with whatever supplies that you have. And so those are my 3 pockets. Now let me just decide what order I would like them to be in. This way, or maybe this way. Or actually, I think I like it that way, because this is such a pretty paper. Then on this one we would have a little pocket, so I could use a scrap like this, or even turn it around and use one like this. This is really pretty. And then this one with just a little bit decoration. So my next step is going to be, before I glue my pages, my pockets, closed, I want to do those little thumb notches. here. And so thank you to everyone who let me know how these are called in a recent video. Like the word notch just completely left my mind. Could not think of it. And yeah, and so now I'm going to ink, and I will show you guys where I'm inking. So I'm inking all around, inking up my little notch here. I am going to ink the back side because we are going to see that as well when we flip our pocket down. And then I am going to ink the flap because at least part of it is going to be visible even when we glue all the flaps together. And so I will do the same thing for the other two. And then what I would also do is, if you would like to use just glue, then this is going to be the moment where you want to glue your pocket. So use glue on these two sides and that's your pocket done. I am going to use some machine stitching for mine just because I like how it looks. This is really just for the decoration. So I'm going to stitch along those 3 lines to close my pockets, and I will be right back. Okay, all done. And one more thing that I wanted to mention is that you could definitely, instead of having top-loading pockets, make side-loading pockets. Of course, then you would glue along those 3 lines or those 3 lines and just have fun side-loading pockets like that. So this is totally up to you how you would like to have your pockets made. And now I'm just going to take a ruler and a pencil. Again, you don't have to do it, but with a project like this, I like to have a sort of even space between all my pockets, because I think if it was not even, it would just draw my eye too much. But if you are not bothered by that, then you don't have to measure. But because my pieces here are 2 inches or 5 centimeters, I am going to make a little mark where the half of the flap is, because this is where I'm going to be attaching the flap of the other pocket. And I will explain in just a moment. So again, how did I want them? I wanted this, this, and this. So this is going to be my first pocket. And I actually probably don't need this marking on this one in this case. Let me just make sure. Yes. So now here is my marking. Probably not very visible on the camera, but it's here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue over this marking, so the top half of my flap of the next pocket, the second pocket. So I'll just place my glue, and this is where I'm going to attach the flap of the first pocket. Like that. And let me just make sure that these line up nicely. Let me perhaps fold them up. Yeah, nicely they line up nicely. So this is what we have so far. And then the second pocket, I'm going to glue this same way to the flap of the third pocket. So again, I'm putting glue on this top half above my pencil marking. And this is where my second pocket is going to go. Again, I'm just going to fold it up, make sure it's not crooked or anything. Okay, and so what we end up with is this. This is actually a little bit crooked here, but that's okay. I can just clean those edges, preferably without cutting through my pockets. Okay, that should do it. A little bit here. Yes. So what we this way. So what we now have is this sort of like a flap part, which all of those are glued to. So however many pockets you would have, they would all be glued like that. And this is what you are going to glue or attach otherwise on your journal page or something like that. This is what I would do. And so again, this part here, when you fold all your pockets down, this could be a pocket in and of itself, or maybe I think a cute idea would be, because we have those smaller flaps here, like 2 inches, maybe we could glue them like here and here and here, and have like little side loading pockets for like tiny tags or something like that. I should perhaps have some small tags like that, and they could just, you know, pick out from this like that. I think this is such a cute idea. I'm definitely going to do that with at least one of those. But yes, so basically this is the base of our waterfall pocket. No need to do anything else if this is all that you want to do and you have pretty papers. I do want to decorate a little bit, even though I do love those papers. So first I'm just going to get a bit of gold, and this would probably be easier before I or maybe I can go over both before I stitched my pockets close. But what I like to do with pockets where I have those little thumb notches is add a little bit of gold to sort of make the thumb notch a little bit more visible and make it a bit more obvious that this is in fact a pocket. I'm just going to clean this off my finger, and then we can get to the decorating part. So I think I'm going to do something similar as I did with my example, where I have a little like flower collage on the first pocket. So this is the sort of cover. I then have this pocket on the second one, and on the third one just a little bit more collaging, maybe with some postage stamps, something like that. And as you can see, I also used those offcuts of the other papers, so that's why I wanted to keep those. So let's first pick a piece that we would like to use for the pocket here. Now I could go with this actually. So for the other one I used the reverse because the reverse is also very pretty, but I love this paper so much, and I love this little flower here, and it says Botanical Gardens, Countryside, so I'm thinking I'm going to go with this one. But first let me clean this edge off, clean this up, this one as well. And I want it to be nestled sort of in between the stitching lines, so I want a little bit of margin on both sides and also on the bottom of the pocket. So I am going to slightly trim this try to be even, but I can't cut even usually, so I'm probably not going to do a great job of that. Still, you know, you can try. Yeah, I think that's perfect. So then, just to differentiate from the other pockets that I have here, I'm just looking for my, oh, here it is, for my corner rounder punch. And I'm going to round the corners, the two bottom corners of this pocket. Make a little thumb notch here as well. And perhaps ink around it so it stands out from the background a little bit more. And this one is basically ready to be glued here. Now I think I would like to decorate it slightly with my gold leaf trim, just because you guys know me. I love my gold leaves. So if I can find the end, which is always a challenge, well, I could probably, oh, here it is. So let's see how much I need, and maybe I will cut here. So I tested it, and you can definitely use wet glue with this gold leaf trim, but I think to just make it a little bit more interesting, I am going to go with a zigzag stitch and stitch it straight to this. So I'll be right back, and this is what it looks like. I think it's super cute. So let's just glue it as a pocket here with my wet glue. And this pocket is finished. This middle pocket, I consider the decorating finished, although I might actually, now that I'm saying it, let me just glue this down. I might add a bit of lace like I did here, just under the thumb notch, because I love the look of it. So I think I'm going to use the same lace. I have this really thin cream colored crochet lace. So let me actually do that before I go on with more like collaging and decorating. So I'm going to cut my pieces. 1, 2, and 3. And it just gives the whole piece, I would say, like a nice uniform look, because we're using all the different papers and all the different decorations, but then the lace is sort of like a constant throughout all of this. Which one is the back side? Maybe this. So I'm going to put my wet glue directly on to the lace, but you could put it on the paper as well, and then just sort of position it slightly below the edge of my pocket, below the thumb notch. Yeah. Then the second one. Now, of course, if you don't care about this more uniform look, you can definitely, you know, go to town and decorate each separate pocket differently. I think because these papers, while different, they come from the same paper pad, the same collection, they already go together pretty well. So whatever, I feel like whatever you would do, however you would decorate, it would just work nicely. And a third one. I'm actually thinking, now that I'm thinking about the projects that I have planned for this mini series, I have a lot of pocket type projects, so I'm thinking that the last day is going to be making ephemera to put in all of those pockets that we are creating. And this will also be a nice way to use up all the remaining papers. Okay, I love it. It's so sweet, I think, with the tiny lace pieces. Okay, and so here is our second pocket. So for this one, for the front, I would like to use the scraps of those papers, or maybe even like that. So I could use this because this is gorgeous, and then a bit from the sort of the front, because I love how it just ties to it, and maybe a little strip of those flowers. So this will be my little collage, on top of which I will look for some floral focal point in a moment. Maybe like this. And I also like to put a bit of a tea bag. This is a coffee stained tea bag. To just calm it down a little bit. Just push those papers slightly into the background and add maybe a different texture underneath my focal point. And then let me look for a flower that would look good here. So I'm looking for something either with green, or maybe, ooh, this would be pretty. I like how it's a little bit sort of this bigger size. But it's also quite like thin and dainty. You know what? I think I'm actually going to go with this. So now I think I want this paper on the paper bag actually. Maybe just a little bit of inking, because the way I tore it, I have a lot of white edges on those strips, and I don't really have them on anything else in these pockets. So how about something maybe along these lines, then my tea bag underneath the top layer, like this. Then this one, and then just a little staple. Yes, if I can locate my stapler, that is. Okay, here it is. Oh no. No. Oh, sorry guys. Let me add some staples to this. Okay, here's my little cluster with the stapler, with the staple. And just going to glue this whole thing down with my wet glue. If it works, it does. That's good. Oh no, and it's coming off this way. I love this magic glue. This is a Polish brand glue, but the tubes that this glue comes in are horrible. they really aren't, like, I don't know how you work with this glue so that it doesn't happen. But I have some of those like glue precision bottles, and I'm thinking maybe I could try to squeeze it from this tube to those bottles. Well, one bottle. But I'm thinking, I'm not sure if this glue isn't a bit too thick. Well, I suppose I can try with just one, because this is not nice to work with, and also I don't like to waste glue, which it does. And let's go like this perhaps. So here is our second pocket decorated. It's very cute, I think. Or well, this one is first, second. And for this one, I would like to again use some of maybe those papers. How about if I do a little bit of like a corner thing? Because I just like the stamping here. And then perhaps just a piece of this gingham one. Let's just add a little bit of ink, especially over those really white edges. And then maybe just a postage stamp for something different. Okay, this could be nice. And I do have this little bag of postage stamps that were gifted to me. Maybe I could, it's funny because a lot of them are Polish stamps. So maybe I can find one with, oh, maybe this one with the colors that just work with the backgrounds. And the background papers are quite warm in tone and vintagey. So how would I want it? Maybe like this? Yeah, maybe like this. So I think, again, I'm just going to staple it. I'm telling you guys, just stapling your little clusters makes it so much easier to work with those small fiddly pieces and keep them where you want them. And I know I say it a lot, but I really do like that, like the sort of a different texture, a different material that a staple adds. And so I think I have this cheesecloth. So maybe I will cut a piece of this. Sorry for the little interruption. That was my husband asking about dinner. So now I have to be careful and not to put my fingers in this glue that's seeping from my bottle. I might actually use some sort of tape to make sure it doesn't seep more. Doesn't seep out more. And so I'm just putting a little bit of cheesecloth underneath my stamp like this, so I can have this nice textury effect. Actually, can I use this glue that's just sipping? Yeah, it's already drying, so I'm not sure if it's going to be any good. But maybe just a little bit. And I am going to just glue it down on the corner of my pocket. Yeah, and it's so pretty. Maybe just a little bit more glue here so it stays in place. Oh, I really love it. I really love it. Now you could of course decorate this little flap, but because I don't yet know what I want to do with it, whether I want it to be a pocket or I just want to glue it on the page, I'm just going to leave it like that. And I am keeping those little offcuts that I have left, and also from this other one that I made, and we are probably going to be using those to make our ephemera on the last day. So here is what we have. 3 very, very cute pockets. I think maybe let me just add a bit of vintage photo over this flower, because now that I'm looking at it, it is quite white in comparison to everything else that's more sort of cream. Oh yes, much better. And so the last thing that I would do is figure out if I wanted to add a closure. And like I said, for this one I just tied a piece of sari silk, just a little bow, and I'm thinking I'm going to do the same, but maybe not with sari silk. I have these chiffon ribbons in a few colors. I have this one, more sort of dusty pink, more light pink, and I also have white, but I'm thinking maybe this one actually. So how long would I need it? I never know. So let's cut it here, and let's hope this is enough. And so you can decide where you want to tie it. Do you want a tie on the bottom? In this case, this is where I'm tying it, and it still works. None of those are flipping on their own. But here, because I have this image, maybe I will try to do it slightly higher, almost where this first pocket ends. So let me attempt to tie a nice bow on camera, which doesn't always work. So I will just move this down here, and yeah, it does cover a lot of this image. So maybe I'll shorten those slightly, but other than that, I think it's so cute, and it definitely keeps all of those pockets nice and closed. Okay, you guys, so this is my project for today. I had really a lot of fun making these, and I might off camera make another one, just because this is such a fun and interactive element. This is the one that we made today. Here's what the back looks, and when you are sure what you want to do with sorry for my inky fingers, with this flap, you can always just glue the piece of ribbon back there. And so when we open this up, this is what we have, and we flip this down. We have our pocket and the second pocket. We flip this down, and our last pocket, like that. Alrighty, so I hope you guys enjoyed this project as much as I did. Thank you so much for crafting with me. If you joined me, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I will see you guys very soon, because tomorrow we are going to be making yet another project with those 6x6 papers. So thank you so much again. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll speak to you guys very soon. Bye.